The echoes between us. There hangs a mirror, weathered, worn, with fractures running deep. Each jagged line, each splintered shard holds stories buried deep. They saw the cracks upon the glass, they named the storm I bore. They counted every broken piece, but never searched for more. They heard the thunder in my voice, the waves I could not tame. They heard the storm that rose within, but they never heard my name. I spoke, yet words returned unheard, like letters lost to flame. I reached beyond those closing doors, but silence stayed the same. I was not asking for the world to take away my pain. I was just a child still trying hard to make my needs to explain. Someone who whispered through the dark the stories left unseen. A heart that longed for someone else to know what pain could mean. Not perfect words, not perfect ways, not answers fully formed. Just someone trying to be heard within the rising storm. For every soul carries echoes of words they cannot erase, of doors once closed before them, of longing to find their place. Then came a hand that did not flee when skies grew dark and grey, not one that promised endless calm, but one that chose to stay. They did not mend the fractured glass or hide the scars below. They held the pieces in their hands and helped my roots regrow. They saw my strengths when all I saw were battles I had lost. They held a hope inside of me when mine had slipped aloft. They did not save me from the storm. They helped me find my strength. For every soul carries echoes of moments that helped them mend, of hands that stayed through darkness when storms would not yet end. Then came a name to hold the pain, a word to give it shape, a lantern found within the dark, a doorway toward escape. Then came 3 letters, BPD. Not an ending, just a key. Not the whole of who I was, but a way to finally see. A name can bring understanding, a name can bring relief, but names can also become heavy when they are all that others see. 3 letters written on a page must never become a fate. A diagnosis is not a sentence. A diagnosis is not a gate. I was never a death sentence. I was never beyond repair. The pain was real. The struggle was real. But recovery was waiting there. The sharpest edges softened slowly. The wounds no longer ruled my days. The storm still tells its story, but it no longer owns my name. For every soul carries echoes of battles they overcome, of storms that once defined them, yet no longer hold their name. So before you judge the storm you see, before you turn away, ask what voice is underneath. Ask what words cannot convey. For beneath the anger, beneath the fear, beneath the moments hard to hold, there is still a human there, a story waiting to be told. So now I turn to those who hold the power to shape the way. The hands that write the policies, the choices you make every day. Remember, every name you hold is more than ink and line. Behind each record, each report, a beating heart resides. A person is not their darkest night, nor storms they cannot tame, not just the moment pain arrived, nor letters forming a name. For every door that closes fast, another echo grows. Another person learns again. the world will not come close. And every door that stays ajar, every hand that chooses care, can become the quiet turning point that tells someone they are there. And to the hands that offer care, please know this truth remains. A person does not need to break to prove they feel their pain. The strongest hands are not the ones that never draw a line. They are the hands that hold with care, with boundaries and kindness intertwined. For safety is not silence, and compassion is not surrender. The greatest gift we offer someone is showing they still matter. Because healing does not bloom alone. It does not grow behind closed doors. It rises in the spaces between us, in every moment when someone stays, someone listens, someone remains. So if connection changes outcomes, let that truth no longer wait. Do not hold a system asking hope to survive on scraps and fate. Fund the moments where trust begins. Fund the time it takes to stay. Fund the relationships that remind a person there is another way. Fund the relationships that make recovery possible. For every soul carries echoes of the words we choose to leave. Some become wounds that whisper. Some become the strength to believe. So choose the echo you leave behind. Choose the words that help repair. Choose the kind of human kindness that tells someone they are still there. For every soul carries echoes of moments that changed their way, of hands that reached beyond the storm and chose to gently stay. For every soul carries echoes of voices that helped them heal, of someone who looked beyond the cracks and saw the person standing still. For every soul carries echoes of the words we choose to leave. Some become the wounds we carry. Some become the hope we believe. The storm may tell a story, but it does not own a name. The cracks may show the journey, but they do not define the frame.